Top of the day. It's me, Nikesha. It's 5:52 a.m. August. Let's see, 12th, Friday, August 12th, 2022. I just want to say and it was a beautiful full moon outside last night, with an awesome rainbow hue that just encased the whole. It was an awesome view. But anywho, as I sit under the moon and just was sitting there just vibing. First, it started off in my house at my dining room table because I was up about something to 12 this morning, and like just in my zone and being where I'm at in the whole chillax vibe. I was thinking about it yesterday real heavy before I had went to sleep, and it really makes sense to me about a lot of things in the past when it comes to what was going on behind the scenes when I was not there, or was there but it was going on right under my nose type shit. Anywho, I remember as a kid, my grandmother, she worked for the Asbury Park Middle School, and she was a teacher's aide, and she was working at Value City as well. But we're going to talk about the middle school. She was a teacher's aide, and she hung with Miss Myra, Miss Jewel, Miss Jessie Ricks. She was the liaison lady. Miss Joanne, Miss Drea, all of them. That whole crew or whatever. And as that shit was going on, I had found out that the school secretary was my auntie Karen's father's wife. That was crazy as fuck. And motherfuckers was mad with me because I didn't know, but it was a whole bunch of shit and manipulation that was going on behind the scenes with that. But one thing that I do want to say that stands out the most to me, it was this one particular trip where my grandmother and all of them had to go over to California for a parent liaison convention or some shit like that over in California. My grandmother and all of them, they said that they flew over there, whoop-de-whoop, pop, 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 and all of this and all of that. But what's striking me in this present moment when it comes to the California thing and my grandmother flying over there, and also my cousin Diane and her son Elijah, and them being over there in California doing all of the Hollywood stuff and all of this and all of that. And also the freaking property that showed up when I did my background search in San Jose, California, with my name attached to it. So, with me knowing this, I also know that when I was in middle school, I was a nerd and stuff like that. So they had did this thing throughout the school to pick the top couple of people to go off and go off for go bring your daughter to work day type situation or whatever. And I had gotten chosen. I think Monique McCain had gotten chosen, and I believe Regine Jean Baptiste had got chosen. I'm not really sure, but I do know that I was chosen, and I was chosen to go and go out with Antoinette Ross, and she worked for this company. I believe it was in telemarketing, telecommunications, or something like that. It was a really nice office setting and things like that. So outside of that, Miss Tony became my outside of that school setting mentor, and like I was taught a lot of things by her and her husband, Mr. Emmett Ross. And I used to go over to their house to go spend the night and things like that. But I also knew that my grandmother like called them for everything or whatever, and like put like a lot of things into their head, and they found out that I was having sex or whatever because I was like 14 years old or whatever, and I was messing with Raheem at the time. And she had called Tony over there to come and I guess try to scold me and tell me, what wasn't right and things like that. I say that to say, while me knowing all of that, I also know that at one point in time, my grandmother had owned the house and that she was in debt and all of this other stuff. And this was like when I was younger, because I remember my grandmother had left from the house. She said that she had gave up the house or whatever because nobody was helping to contribute and this and that and this and that. And they had put her into a bungalow at the Corleys. I think, yeah, was that Corliss Avenue? As it was on off of Asbury Avenue. They had put her in a bungalow over there or whatever for a time, and then she had worked her way up. But in the process of that, we was in foster care. No, this was right before we had went to foster care or whatever. But we was with my mom and cousin Sharon, and that's when shit had just went left. But I'll talk about this topic because I know that during my childhood, a lot of paperwork and signatures and things like that was signed and, agreed upon and kept hush hush and everything like that. Just like I know that all of those people that worked with my grandmother and even people in our neighborhood like Renee and Nisi and Judy and all of them, they girlfriends, they boyfriends, whoever the hell, friends, the maintenance people and all of that, they was all paid to watch me and my brother's movements and shit like that when we was young kids. Like, even, like, my so-called friends' parents was, like, put that deep on it. And the shit that even goes a little bit more deeper is that my grandmother, when she was working at the school, she used to go to Sheffield's all the time. And my grandmother had gave them her personal home number or whatever, and they used to call my grandmother about a lot of stuff, like when my cousin Fat Daddy and Love Bug used to be stealing out of there and just all type of little shit like that. Then when my grandmother wanted us to go there and cash the food stamps in to get her damn cigarettes and shit like that or whatever, Sam and all of them was letting us do it. Their mom, his mom and his dad or whatever. I say that to say, like, a lot of trans happenings that was going on in my life, and of course before I even started motherfucking getting high or anything like that, just my just existence out in Asbury Park, New Jersey, period. First of all of that shit was orchestrated. Every last person that I had ever come in contact with in that fucking small ass town was paid or orchestrated to be into my life or watch me or, keep the lie going. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of things that have been lied to me about a lot of situations as far as me growing up and why things were the way that they were. But as I got older, I had put the puzzle pieces together. I asked certain pertinent questions, and then I sat back and I observed, and I come up to the conclusion that, to this very day, the same people that was orchestrated into my life in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and even over here on the West Coast that, come from the same area or whatever, or, along that way, have intricately played a part in trying to, silence me and bring my demise, all because everybody wanted to sit behind the scenes and be stealing and doing all type of all type of shenanery, and having the nerve and audacity to kick my back in or try to put me down or try to make it seem like, I'm just this type of person that's just all fucked up and I've never helped nobody. I've always been a grimy ass person, just keep trying to stigmatize me for the people that they hold me hostage to or being, in the past, and all type of crazy ass shenanigans that they got going on, and still, they just doing too much. But it's like, when I look back at all the key factor players that have been, have been a consistent part of my life, everybody that is branched off had a part, in spying on me, watching, reporting back, because everybody had their hand in the cookie jar. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted a piece of the pie, whether it was directly connected and linked to me or other people that had those type of connections with the people that had a hand in betraying me, which is all my damn family. For one reason or another, why wouldn't I think that they would betray me when they was betraying each other from the rip before I was even born? You understand what I'm saying? I know a lot of my ancestors and my relatives, they had thugged out and they went hard for, the actual cause of why we truly are here and meant to be in this existence. But because, all of the brainwashing and stigmatizations and stuff, people try to put a lot of boundaries on freedom of speech and trying to oppress people from actually speaking out and actually doing what they supposed to do in the communities and uplifting the vibration and, not using certain businesses to, be a front and cover for undercover backhanded shit like selling drugs when you're supposed to be uplifting and inspiring the community. See, that's the type of shit that was going on in my community, with the older guys that was supposed to be the example because they older and they was in a point in time raised in an era where things were a little bit different and more of our people was speaking out and, going out there and, uplifting and some of the ways was unconventional, the way they went about getting things done, but at the same time, they were standing up for our people and being protectors of us, and somewhere along the line, like I was speaking to the older generation that I did speak to on my mother's side and asking them like, how is it that before in my generation or a couple of years before my generation, like why is it okay that everybody want to skim past? Nobody was there to freaking be our protectors and to show us the right way. I'm talking about from man or woman side. You know what I mean? But want to sit back and talk about a person that had to show themselves their own way and show themselves how to heal and show themselves how to grow and nurture and parent their own self because nobody was there. You know what I mean? And if the people was raised with their parents and shit, their parents was doing all type of cruddy ass, underhanded, illegal shit. You know what I mean? Poisoning people for life insurance policies, selling out their family members, putting them up on the chopping block for sacrificial lambs and shit like that. Like plotting the murder and shit like that, putting shit in people's foods, people weed, people drinks, people coffee, people tea, people water, whatever it is that people, able to freaking get their hands on just to, in one form or another way, manipulate the situation to go in their favor. Then doing certain things and tactics, within the family dynamic, motherfucking doing that shit and then, doing sexual acts and shit like that on them or plotting for motherfuckers to come and do gang rapes and all type of shit, but everybody be wanting to sweep it up underneath the rug, like, and then what bugs me and behooves me the most, I know that I've always been an outspoken person when it comes to standing up for, like, shit that's not right. Like, you can't just be going around doing certain shit to people. I've learned lessons in me doing like the little shit that I was doing to people or whatever, and that shit didn't feel good. So I eventually like learned that like what you put out there definitely come back to you, especially me knowing that I had a vision way before like the drugs at any crazy ass part of my life. When I was a little kid, I used to fucking have a vision of having certain shit going on. But a lot of things was placed into my life for me to have to go through those, obstacles and shit like that. And people is mad in this present moment that everything that they've been trying to throw out and do all of this shit and sign paperwork and be trying to be into all of these different groups and shit like that to cover up whatever the hell they backdooring and whatever the hell. See, this shit go way back, like the Masons and Easter Stars in my family and shit like that. And the shit that they was into or whatever, the sacrifices and all type of crazy ass shit. And then I'm sitting here speaking on shit and, people viewing it or people hearing about it being sent to my page. However people is coming across it, like I want to be able to help more people that's out in the world that have experienced such things that I'm sitting here freely willing to, put out there into the universe, because like I said, I am not a perfect person and I've never thought that I was better than nobody or none of that shit. I've always just tried to be me and mind my damn business and get to where I had to go. Had a lot of distractions. The majority of the distractions that I had in my life came from my own damn family setting up shit because they was behind the scenes signing crazy ass deals and doing all of this other shit and taking fucking properties and motherfucking getting bank accounts and fucking having shit wired overseas and into different countries and all types of other crazy shit. And I'm talking about family, friends, lovers. It don't even motherfucking matter at this point. I just know that I'm not a dummy and I've never been a dummy. And even around certain people that I've never really been around my whole life, like just sitting back and, having certain conversations, it don't take a rocket scientist to put two and two together on who's doing what and, you know what I mean? Trace it all back and rewind that thing. You feel me? So that further lets me know even more that everybody knew from the jump what the whole, shabooga was. Everybody knew what the plot and the scheme was. I'm the only one, pretty much out the whole bunch when it comes to what's going on with me personally, and then how it's affecting me and my children and how motherfuckers was trying to just throw extra stuff in the game. Like, yo... But I'm the crazy one, though. When I look back at it, I want to say for like the past 20-something years, just from one in particular ex of mine, well, a few of them, but it was just one that really, which is Craig Williams, like, and his whole family or whatever with the police and all of that. Then I had my own set of police and people that was working with the police and my whole family, and they all got together and had like a big ass hoorah, kumdalala, however they got shit going on. Then they fucking making voodoo dolls and shit of a motherfucker and stabbing the shits in my heart and in my fucking calves and in my thighs and shit like that, making me try to like paralyze me, all type of shit. Like motherfuckers had me pistol whips. My own children's father, Mark Scott, like, you dead ass wrong. I got a concussion in the back of my head and shit, but you got the nerve to want to fucking be working with people behind, especially with Sakina Dean and Daryl and fucking Dwight and all of them motherfuckers and whoever else you got wrapped up into the shit you got going the fuck on wherever the fuck you at right now. You know what I mean? And I know that this is YouTube and everything like that, and my truest, deepest apologies, but like, enough is enough when it comes to certain situations. It's like, yo, all of these years, like, just coming to find out, like, it was all betrayals, all lies, and everybody was all out just to get paid to do some, and then the people that don't even know me having a nerve to freaking feel some type of way about me based off of something that somebody else told them about me. And I, 9 times out of 10, never met them a day in my life, but, I got people that's freaking stalking me on social media, people that's connected to people that's connected to people that's connected to people that done lied and said this, that, and the third, or I did this, that, and the third to them, or for whatever the hell reason it is. Like I've been speaking my truth. I've been owning what it is that I've been trying to, get right within myself and then other people that I have wronged and shit like that, and then even put in written requests that I be able to speak face to face mutually to get some shit off my chest and to be able to come honest and shit about certain shit with certain people, and then no response, and then everybody want to sit back, but they already done made up they whole whatever the hell, then lying to my children and shit like that, saying this, that, and the third. Like the last straw for me was just when I had talked to my cousin Monet, and she said that my uncle born, Kyle Bunting, told her within this last year that my mother had custody of my children because I was away. Now, if any freaking body, any investigator, like I know that, like, because I know that my shit been wired and tapped and shit like that, for everything that has been ever done or ever spoken within these past couple of years when I decided to leave from fucking Salem, New Jersey. It was other decisions prior to leaving from certain places and situations, but the main one was Salem, New Jersey, because that just was a whole weird ass experience with my mom, my aunt, my cousins, their friends, and the whole situation. Then I had me a freaking job. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Staying in Salem and stuff like that. Now, prior to us coming there, they knew that I had a prior history on my record and stuff, so I couldn't even get a job or was allowed to try to get a job when I was in Asbury or whatever, when I got myself together and was trying to do for myself and everything like that. Then I was granted the opportunity and I'm losing the opportunity, kind of find out, got people behind the scenes ruining and that, calling because they've been watching me forever. You know what I mean? Just hating on some dumbass shit. Come from my own damn mama staying up underneath her roof and she fucking putting in action to connect with folk to, do dumbass. Anywho, making me lose my jobs and shit like that. Then everybody want to get all excited and shit when my lawsuit money came in. That's where fucking Craig and his family and my mama and other people that knew about the situation, you know what I mean, want to be all coming all being all chummy and shit like that. At the same time, I got members from my family on the father's side coming at me, asking me could they use my freaking driver's information so that they could get my cousin Marlene Morris. You was dead ass wrong calling me, asking me could you use my damn ID so that you could get a car in your name because you fucked your own shit up. I really don't understand. Like, I was sitting there and I was living at 211 First Avenue with my mom when my cousin Marlene called me with that shenanigan. I was like, wait, what? Like, you want me to do what? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. I didn't even get a license in my own freaking name. Like, how do you think... I've encountered a lot of crazy ass things in situations with different, handfuls of family members throughout the years in my life. And it just had me sit there and just be thinking like, how and why? Then my cousin TT had came to come visit me and shit from Kansas City. She had came out there. Like a lot of shit just connecting and, and this was after... my grandpa had passed away, and after my dad and shit was gone, because this was like in 2015, 2016, some shit like that. And because 2017 we had moved, July of 2017 we had moved to Salem. So in between them years, Marlene reached out to me asking me could she use my driver's license so that she could get a car, because she fucked up her driving license or whatever. And I'm like, cause that don't even, nah, like, I'm not comfortable with doing no shit like what the hell, like, I don't know, I was just baffled about the call and shit. But you know, as I put the pieces together now, it makes me know even more that they was freaking doing all of this paperwork switching, getting people to do all of the underhandedness, and got people who paid people to freaking keep me not coming to family functions. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm living in Philadelphia and shit like that, and you know, I was cracked the fuck out at the times. But when I had got connected with Facebook, I had put friend requests out to my father's side of the family, my side of the family, everything like that. So everybody, I had all type Facebook friend following, whatever, from Mara's side and Bunting side, with extensions, you know, to both or whatever. So around the time when my grandfather passed away, cause I was there when I was in Asbury Park when my pops passed away, and that foul ass shit that they did. They went and had that fucking breakfast at Perkins Pancakes, and with the guy that was supposed to be taking care of the arrangements and the money and all of that shit, Annette Porter and fucking Derek Mars. But Melina said that she didn't go with them. She wasn't invited to go, which I'm starting to believe that was a lie. Because soon as that shit was handled or whatever and the whole service was taken care of, Annette and Derek hauled the fuck ass the fuck away from there. But I do remember in the mix of my dad's funeral and shit, she tried to make me get from away from the coffin and shit. And I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to be able to see this man in the physical body. And he had told me to tell y'all before he died to put him in the casket upside down so that y'all could kiss his ass as y'all come to view his body, because y'all ain't fuck with him in the first place anyway. And I had told the man that had to come to say my dad's last will and testament what exactly my dad told me to say when they asked me. So I did. But Annette and them didn't even want me to come say nothing, because she like, I don't know where she at and shit. But Melina knew that I was right in Asbury Park and shit like that, because I was going over there checking up on her and shit after my pop passed away type shit, you know, like, I don't even know how the hell they thought that this shit was going to go over. But anywho, it's just a lot of things that, you know, interconnect with a lot of things that from my past, and why my family was beefing and shit like that about a whole bunch of hidden secrets and a whole bunch of shit motherfuckers ain't want to get out, and motherfuckers, you know, plotting to rob motherfuckers' houses and shit like that, motherfucking murders going on, all type of shit. All type shit they had going on, and I was a little kid, or just before, not even fucking born yet, and it was shit that was going on while I was in the motherfucking womb, and crazy ass shit, you know what I mean? Like, it was chaotic as fuck, you know what I mean? And, you know, I guess they thought that was what was up, but that's not what's up, you know? And they getting mad with me now because I'm starting to remember a whole bunch of shit, and like, for everything that everybody had ever done to me in this family dynamic, on either on both sides. Either on both sides, they dead ass wrong. Let me finish talking about this shit. So I'm friends with all of these motherfuckers. So they had a fucking family reunion plotted. I said it right. They had plotted and planned a family reunion or whatever. So, like, my cousin Marlene was the one that had, like, pretty much had hit me to it and shit, and was like, you coming to the family reunion? I'm like, what family reunion type shit? I don't know what the hell they got behind the scenes and told the motherfucker. But when I had reached out to my Uncle Derek, he's like, well, you could come, but you gonna have to find your way how to get here and shit. And he goes even further in to tell me that they was renting a limo and certain folk was they tried that shit at the funeral too. Like talking about some how was I getting to the site and this and that. They didn't even want to come pick me up in the limo and none of that shit. Like that shit was disrespectful as fucking hell. But that's neither here nor there. They ain't want me on the scene for none of that shit to find out about nothing that they had going on about nothing because they just been used to doing this shit all the motherfucking time. Just like they ain't even tell me when my grandfather passed away. I had to find out through Facebook through my pop-pop's cousin Aura. You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother fucking story because I was intertwined with these motherfuckers when I was out there in Asbury ripping and running the motherfucking streets and shit like that, all fucked up in the game. So a lot of motherfuckers knew a lot about a lot of, but ain't nobody want to talk about shit because everybody, like I said, had their hand in the motherfucking cookie jar about it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, my papa worked for the motherfucking Garden State Parkway and shit like that. And he had other side hustles like, he was a garbage collector and everybody made fun of him and shit like that. But my papa used to find some motherfucking fly ass motherfucking treasures and shit like that. I've even went with him to go digging dumpsters and shit like that early in the morning, finding like mad fucking treasures and then going out to the Collinswood auction early in the morning on the motherfucking weekends.